Fall candles for Foxx.
Cashier number 3, please. straight face, organised, official, proper newsreader type. Yes, okay. We're ready. We are live on channel eModels. Please do not swear and all that sort of stuff. You may have noticed we're a tad short this evening. This is because of Ted being Ted and being stuck in traffic and weather and stuff. He had a trip down, not it's up for me, but down to eModels, and he's still on his way home. So yes, we probably won't be seeing Ted. He might come in the last 5 minutes or something. We don't know. So good evening and welcome to the eModels Live Monday night show with myself, Chris. We also have Colin.
Oh, hello, folks. Start as you mean to go on. Super profession, didn't you, Mike?
Organised properly, as it should be. And we also have Foxx with the buttons tonight.
Hello, I have the button so I can press.
Clap it on.
Or I can also press.
eModels mug, eModels mug, eModels mug.
Takes a long time. And there you go.
I can just about see it in the background in the reflection, so I can sort of time it a little bit for seeing what's going on, although I can't hear it.
Never mind.
But yes, Ted may not be here in person, but he is here in video form.
Yes.
Yeah, we've already been misbehaving off air, so
No,
apologies for our
we've been
behaviour.
properly organised and official, and all very, very well behaved, and behaving ourselves properly and nicely, like we always do when Ted's not here. It's not
Everything Chris just said is a lie.
Yeah, I mean, if the off air was anything to go by, yeah.
So I've done the introduction bit. So now it's everybody's free reign. Off you go. What we doing tonight, then, guys? Anything special?
Right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Yeah.
Go on.
Go
I was going to say I'll do my bit. As always, this is your show. We're here to give you guys some fun. So if you're watching this, you want to come and join in the live chat, which is here. You can see it there. That's the live chat. That's not the live chat that you want to join the proper live chat. You want to join in because all the cool kids join the live chat. And you need to give us stuff to talk about, otherwise we'll be knackered. So if you want to join the live chat and you can't see where, you need to be on YouTube. So hit the YouTube icon that's down here somewhere underneath all the little thumbnails. Hit the YouTube icon. That will take you to the YouTube page where you can see the live chat and join in. And you want to join in because we might do a sticker. I don't know. We do mugs still? I don't. Yeah, you might win a mug.
Is the whole thingy, what's in store thing a bit later on.
You might
win a mug for that. Although they still haven't got any mugs in yet. So at some point you'll get a mug. It's like shares in future mug production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Spanish shareholding thing, but without the dodgy.
You get a mug future.
It's a time sharing mug.
Colin, you've dropped down a bit there.
Is your chair broken?
Has your chair gone again?
No, I stuck my legs up on me chair. Apologies.
So anyway, this is your show. As you can see, it's a thoroughly professional affair. So if you want to ask us questions or comments, make sure you put your comments and questions in big fat capital letters, or bold, as Ted would call it, bless him. Yeah. If you want to get our attention, put your comments in capital letters. If you want to, you can do a super chat, which is the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That puts your comment in a big coloured box, and we have no way to miss it then, because we've all got the chat in front of us. If you can't, though, you can, if you want to, you can send an email to ted@emodels.co.uk. The email address is just up there. I don't know if any of us have got it open, though, but it's always worth sending it anyway.
It's around, but yeah.
Yeah, we may or may not have the email open, because Ted's not here, so... And any complaints, send them to helgen35@geocities.com.
Yeah, Ted will respond to your email queries as soon as he gets home.
Yes, he was visiting eModels today, and as far as we can tell, thanks to bad weather and traffic, he's probably still only halfway up the M6 since.
He's probably sat in the car in a lay-by thinking, "How the hell am I going to sneak this past Mrs. Ted?"
Yeah. If you don't know, Ted actually went to eModels today to pick up, now in store, the 1/200th Trumpeter Titanic, which he will be building as an eModels build series. And he went to collect it today, rather than just have, the guys at eModels send it to him, because they can do that. He went to pick it up for a 5-hour journey.
Well, the idea was that he was going to go along on the 5-hour journey and do a live video unboxing and what's in the box sort of thing, but he couldn't get the live video bit to work, so they recorded something in video, and I assume Ted's taking it back home to upload it and put it on the channel later. So keep an eye out for that. There'll be sort of part 0.5 of Ted's Titanic build.
Yeah. There may or may not have been some technological difficulties. One other thing very quickly as well, folks. As always, I'm constantly tinkering with the audio levels. And as I've explained before, I'm on a different audio loop to everybody else. So please let me know in chat if I am particularly louder than the other guys, or if they're particularly louder than me, or if we're all kind of nicely balanced. If anybody needs to go up or down in volume, let me know, because I don't know. I have no way to check.
The chat are conspiring against me. Sprue glue addict saying I'm ignoring everyone in chat, in the vain hope that I'll type something in the chat and then they can all grasp me up and get me in trouble.
Yeah, you can't do that. We've confiscated.
I see what you're doing.
So.
Yeah. Hello, everyone in chat. Proper words.
Anyway, that's my bit done.
I think Chris is missing something, Foxx, don't you?
Oh yes, yes I do. My brain stopped. Wait, what? My brain just hit the handbrake.
What's that on top of your head that you've just adjusted?
I think there is something missing in Chris's little picture here. Colin, you appear to have some kind of device on your head.
Absolutely.
I appear to have a traditional.
Well, normally I couldn't possibly wear a hat on a live stream because Ted would feel left out because he hasn't got his hat. But I did conveniently dig out a hat for potential wearing tonight. It's a bit cowboy. I don't think I'll wear it very long. But
it doesn't say cowboy to me. It says I've been dragged to Old Trafford to suffer the cricket for 6 hours.
I think it's J.R. Gross myself.
Also, it's killed your white balance, but there you go.
Yeah, I'm not going to wear it for very long.
Look at him squirm. I'm really feeling uncomfortable in this hat.
I'm perfectly comfortable in my own hat.
I tell you, boy, that hat sure does make you look pretty.
Purdy is the word you're looking for.
You look pretty in that hat.
Oh, Chris, all you need is a set of dungarees with one of the straps off the shoulder.
I'm wearing me chapless pants tonight, so I couldn't.
Well, it's better than wearing pantsless chaps. That would just not go well.
Oh, Sprue glue addict saying, are you taking up line dancing?
What do you mean taking up? I've been doing that for years.
Yeah, a bit of Billy Ray Cyrus.
Just paint it orange, it'll be fine. Yeah.
My friend went to work in Arkansas for a little while, and when he came back, he brought me a number of things. He did bring me a mason jar full of actual moonshine.
Oh,
he bought 2 of them, but one of them broke in his luggage.
Oh,
yeah, it was. I mean, I got it. I opened the jar and I took a whiff, and I was over the limit.
yeah.
But he also brought me a license plate with it says, it's a proper license plate.
Yeah.
Because the Americans can have a silly one on the front, and it says Arkansas, and it's got a picture of a razorback hog, and it just says Suey. Suey, the Arkansas state.
Mark Scopes is saying Brokeback Mountain, Chris. I think this is the stage your hat now gets moved.
Might well be. It's become my very, very person. While I'm here, I shall do the quick run through the chat bit, because if I leave it too long, then there'll be more names. So if I get there quick, then there won't be. The first one in my chat this evening seems to be Redlen 808 saying evening all. Then we have Quanaman, Dave Cardboard, Sprue Glue Addicts, Gross Models Dad, Quanaman, Ickle Pete, Dave Cardboard, Ickle Pete, Stu Pot. Everybody was in there already chatting amongst themselves.
Give me a signal if I need to read the name out, because I haven't got a button for you know who.
We have Anders there, Sprue and Glue, Stu Pot, Sprue and Glue, Dad, Stu Pot, Sprue and Glue, Ickle Pete, Festa 67's Workshop, who I'm sure that will be the only time we see them in the chat. They won't be back in again afterwards.
That was pre.
We had the name that I got right last time, but I don't know how I said it. It's Edward Ruiz.
Ruiz, isn't it?
He told me I did it right, but I can't remember what I said to do it right. So apologies if I get it wrong again. Then we have all the people that I've already mentioned already. Graham McRobertson, Sprue and Glue and Stewpot both putting in pictures of spiders and spider webs, which was nothing to do with me. It's not my fault. Paul Horner, Phil Kett, Paul DeTomaso, Kitchen Table Modeler.
We don't know where he does his work.
No.
Pascal Caspers. That's a different Pascal. It's not the normal Pascal. It's different. There's 2.
Is Pascal actually in tonight? The other Pascal?
I haven't seen him yet. It might be no, he wouldn't have changed his name.
Pascal Laverne, is it?
Pascal, who never ever leaves the room and is always
he's always there. Jamie Bone, Pete Rogers, Zadster, Sergeant Bones, of course, Ken Sturrock.
Very quickly, happy birthday to Jamie, who was 20 yesterday, I think, or Saturday.
Happy birthday, mate.
Birthday.
Yep. Didn't get any cake, but never mind.
Nat Williamson is here. Ross Medlock, Cynical Steve, Wayne Hayward. Did I say that already? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Mark Scopes, you're not listening to me, are you? Michael
No,
Jackman.
not really.
Podrick. Sorry, there's a Clarkey. I haven't seen that yet. Stefan Last. Von Holdinghausen saying the 1/200th Titanic is out. We know. Ted knows.
Yeah.
Ted is fairly certain that he knows it's out.
Ted's halfway back from eModels as we speak with it in the boot of his car.
He's
I think
currently driving at 20 mile an hour, trying to delay showing Miss Ted the large model he's just
I think
acquired.
20 might be pushing it a bit.
I think he's waiting until he can get back home and get it round the back behind he's gone to bed.
Yeah, that's what he's waiting
Brian
rephrase
Wimmer here and Grumpy Bow. There we go. That seems to be everybody that I've seen in the chat. If you've come in since then, and we'll find you, but I'm not going to read your name out.
But
like
you know who we're missing?
Who are we missing?
Have you got a button for it?
My buttons don't work for this because.
Oh yeah, we're missing.
No, but he's
Skullfish.
I haven't seen him yet, so.
Ah. So he
No.
gets a mention even when he's not here. You see.
Absolutely.
So that was all the normal name calling things, and Foxx has done
Name
his
calling.
who's here thing. I've done Ted's welcome everybody thing, and I've named all the names. So there's one thing left to do.
Is that a Fester's factoid?
Well, there's two things left to do. We've got the Festus factoid and the who died.
Dead Scientist of the Week.
mate. Well, on this very day, a science event was the Niagara Falls hydroelectric project was opened. The first generator, which had been producing current for some days while undergoing tests, was officially placed in service on this very day.
In what year?
1961.
1960. I thought it'd be older than that.
Yeah, and we got a death. Sir David Brewster dropped dead at age 86
We're all being respectful. Yeah, he dropped dead, mate. He dropped dead.
on the
He's brown bread.
He's brown bread, that bloke.
on the 10th of February 1868. He was a Scottish physicist noted for his experimental work in optics with polarized light.
Oh,
Apparently, in brackets, a light in which all waves lie on the same plane.
yes.
And also, we had a second death.
Nearly got the hat back on.
A Heinrich Friedrich Emil Lenz, a Russian physicist who devised Lenz's law to describe the direction and flow of electrical current. He died in 1865 at the age of 60.
Oh.
Not a name I would have associated with somebody being Russian, to be honest.
No,
Heinrich
I
Lenz.
seem to go for the rather exotic sounding names there, but
You like the unpronounceables, don't you?
Well, if it was Bob Smith that died, then we'd just think you're making it up.
yeah, there was a few of those, and I thought they're not going to believe that name. So yeah,
Nobody's called Bob Smith.
yeah.
Death of the Day, says Osric 9000. That's what we need to call this.
Death
segment.
of the Day. We can
Yeah,
need a little
we
jingle.
could have a little button for it. Death of the day.
Death of the Day.
Death of the day. With Ted with his eModels mug.
If we can somehow get the rights to use the Supermatch game from Blank to Blank,
The checkbook and pen.
use
Yeah.
that for everything. We'd be sweet then.
How many notes do you have to have in order for it to be a copyright song?
It can be one note.
You can't copyright one note.
No,
Yeah.
the whole thing of using 30 seconds of music is allowed. It's not. It's
Yeah, but there's got to be you can't copyright a single note because everyone
No.
uses that note.
I think it's the sequence, isn't it? The chord progression, or
Yeah, how many?
if you're using a recording, then it can be half a second, as long as it's blatantly a recording of somebody else's music. If you're using, if you're actually performing music, like you've got music in front of you in a sheet, then it's not just one note, obviously, because you're not using a recording, but then it has to be obviously that person's composition.
See, now you've just given me an idea of you sat there, a bit like the old lounge singer with your keyboard there, going in there for Fox's music theme.
Come get your black bin bags.
Indeedy.
No, it's if you're using like pre-recorded music, it's half a second. You could still get into trouble. So if you're doing any kind of content,
But if you did it yourself, then you're probably right with that. But if it was recognisably a different thing, as just said, the Intel tune is 4 notes.
Yeah,
and that's obviously copyrighted. So
yeah, but if I used half of that on a video, if I if I took a sample of it and you start it, they'd still know it was that music.
It's going to end up with the four of us bouncing from window to window, going death of the day,
Death of the day. Boom.
and there you go, ka-ching.
Because you can't get more cheerful music than 1970s, 1980s British quiz shows.
Absolutely, they should bring that out on an album, mate. They've got to.
Can you imagine? Oh, can you imagine the biggest challenge you can give to sort of an emo goth songwriter is to write a song to the Supermatch game music.
Oh yeah,
Or to the Blankety Blank music. He's got to write a typical emo gothic type song about death and doom and all that.
yeah. Send it
he's
over
got
to
to
the
use the
bloke
Blankety Blank
who
music.
fronts Radiohead, couldn't you, old Tom Four?
Well, can't you just do the Supermatch game music, but in a minor key?
No, you can't change. The rule is you can't change this song, the music at all. Or get Morrissey to write a song.
Oh yeah.
I'm so depressed. I'm so depressed.
Heaven knows I'm miserable now.
God, I can't stand the Smiths.
Zasper says Death of the Day needs to be on a church organ with lots of reverb.
That's it. I've just got this image of Foxx there peering up with the wild hairdo and a white
Coming up out the floorboards.
I can announce now that at no point will I be playing with my organ on the internet.
I'm so glad you said that.
Well, I knew you were going to say it, and I wanted to steal your glory.
Mate, it's just, I'm doing really well tonight. I'm
Somewhere
trying to focus.
somewhere now, our friend Paul is just sitting there shouting euphemism as loud as he possibly can in a public place, probably.
No, he's probably asleep by now. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Paul sat on the chair with his inflatable band hammer.
Yeah, you don't even want to go further into that conversation.
No.
Right. So that's that. What we haven't done the traditional bench and belly. We can do that yet.
Absolutely. Belly and bench.
Just very quickly. Oh no, carry on. Sorry, I'll do it in a minute.
Well, I've just done that. Give us some time to type it all into the chat. So
Okay. Yeah, Mark Scopes says Foxx is correct. Says I'm spot on about the copyright thing. The song "Believe," Cher's song "Believe." Not that anybody likes Cher, but that song "Believe" it used one note from a song by ELO. My favourite ELO song, "Time." It used one note from that, and Jeff Lynne has to get a writing credit, because they used that one sample.
That's
yeah,
mad.
but if you'd just played the same note in the same style, but not from a recording, you'd have got away with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's difficult. I don't really want to explain. There's something I was going to explain that I probably don't want to explain because it could get me in trouble. But let's just say, if you're performing your own music and you perform a particular tune that's obviously somebody else's work, it's going to be kind of obvious, especially with pop songs and.
If you was to do a tribute session of it, yeah.
No, not even that. Like if you take like a little hook from a known song, I can't think of one now. But let's say "Time" by Here Is the News, but no, yeah, "Time" by ELO is like da 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 da.
Yeah,
that you could do your own song and use that little four notes, and you could probably get away with it. But if you use this, because it's just four notes,
yeah.
But how you do it, it could become, if it was really obvious that it was taken from that, you'd get screwed.
Yeah, there's a lot of grey area between inspired by and blatantly ripped off from.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if you listen to Jean-Michel Jarre's Oxygen 7-13, which is not very good. You listen to that and you think, wow, that's just the theme from Blade Runner. Like, slow down. There's a one bit where it's like, that's just the theme that's the same kind of shape as, but it's kind of different enough.
I'm kind of not going to be able to unthink that now.
No, because it's like, it's like, I know I listened to it a few times because it wasn't as good as the original Oxygen, but yeah, it's the same thing. It's that's Blade Runner, and so you kind of get away with it sometimes.
Didn't he put all his music in the public domain in the end, Jean-Michel Jarre?
He basically, the thing is now with Jarre, and I know this because I've got a track uploaded onto YouTube that's got copyright sharing, but Jarre publicly said, to the horror of his publishers, you can do cover versions of my music and monetize them if you want to. I don't care.
Yeah.
Which means you can do your own version of any piece of Jarre music, stick it on YouTube or anywhere you can make money on it, and you can monetize it. However, I did that because I did a cover version of Magnetic Fields Part 1, and it was allowed, but it was flagged as revenue sharing. So if people watch it, the monetization, half of it goes to me and half of it goes to the recording label.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
He's one of the rare ones where you can record cover versions of stuff of his music and put it on YouTube or anywhere you want. But half the money has to go to the publisher.
Which I think's the right way of doing it in a way, isn't it? Because we're all fans of music and we've all got a favourite jingle that we would like to perhaps utilise. But you know, I've had copyright strikes before because I've had a track playing in the background on a stereo and not
Yeah, never,
realised.
ever.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
The one thing I see people that are just getting into YouTube do the most, which is the worst thing you can do. The golden rule I say is whenever you're recording on doing anything for YouTube, turn off the telly, turn off the stereo, have nothing in the background that's music or film or anything. And when it comes to music in your video, if you did not write that music, don't use it.
Yeah.
Unless it's like something like the YouTube Music Library, which is designed for that, or it's 100% it's public domain. If you did not write and record that music, don't use it.
Yeah.
A simple rule, because I get loads of people that do videos and they get taken down because they've got somebody else because they use some dance track and it's like, well, duh.
Yeah.
So, you can't help some people.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the model making show.
Yeah.
Sergeant Bones says on his bench is nothing but dust, and
Dust.
his belly is apple strudel.
Dust. Anybody? No. Dust. Anybody? No. Dust. Nobody gets that reference. God damn it. Right, what are we doing? Oh,
Donald
Yeah, I'm
McKenzie.
just scrolling through the chat looking for bench and bellies.
Donald
I'm trying to
McKenzie
find
says
them
cheesy, hammy, eggy, and belly.
Ooh.
Spitfire bench.
Scale model Muse, bench still the 55 F100, belly, mozzarella sticks, and nearly time for work.
I've lost the
Cynical
30.
Steve says belly was a lamb roast with carrot and swede mash, roast potatoes, parsnips, and battered sprouts. Bench is painting spaceships.
Anders Ericsson says, hope you see my bench and belly this week, but it really don't matter because I think you all know what it's going to be on here.
Is it
it's gonna
Diet
be-
Day by any chance?
Is that the Panzer 4 by chance and a salad in the belly?
I would expect
Yes.
that's probably it, but yeah.
Yes. What's the next one?
Philip Prime.
Oh yeah, Philip Prime says belly, meatball stew, and dumpling, and bench 148 Airfix Hawker Hurricane. Good
Cool.
kit.
Kitchen table modeler even. Belly, baked tatty with chicken, mayo, cheese, and coleslaw.
Ooh.
Bench hobby was 135th IDF Merkava. Merkava?
Oh.
Yeah.
Merkava.
Anders actually clarifies.
Yes.
Yeah.
McCarvey. Yeah. He clarifies says belly has a chicken/shrimp mixed salad that counts as meat, so you kind of allowed. It's kind of poncy meat, but it's still meat. And bench 1 million of track links for the Panzer IV.
Ross Medlock, belly roast chicken and chips and gravy, and bench Warhammer 40k Age of Sigmar figures.
Lovely.
Phillips has Bosk from Star Wars on his bench, from Star Wars Legion, and the belly is chicken Kiev.
Sadly, Sergeant Bone says Fox is the only one that got that reference, but I can't remember what he was talking
I
about.
don't remember.
I can't remember what were we talking about?
It's a reference that only you got.
I don't know, but it was though. Eri Styrie. If I struggle to read, by the way, it's not that I can't read; it's that my text is really small on my iPad. Eri Styrene, welcome. Not seen your name before. It says bench Hasegawa F18F Diamondbacks and belly is pizza. Now I know you're new to maybe the chat, so we have a golden rule: you can't just say pizza. Whenever you're saying what you eat, you have to give all the filthy, dirty details.
Skipper Ted's home, by the way.
Oh, is it? Lovely. So we need to know all the filthy details of the pizza. What the toppings were? Was it deep dish? Was it stuffed crust?
Oh yeah,
Can't
full
just-
ingredient list is required.
Yeah.
Grumpy Bone, Bo even, sorry.
Grumpy Bone.
Belly chili and rice on the bench is a P1 Ventura.
I had a Grumpy Bone once. I got pills
I
for
don't
it.
know
It was
what
fine.
I was thinking then. I really don't. Apologies.
Yeah. Simon, I don't even want to know what you're thinking. Simon Bain says, belly, I cheated. I had a Grande Big Mac meal. Here's the thing, right? This new Grande Big Mac, it's the new one with the bigness and the bacon and stuff. People don't realise that's just a Big Mac.
That's just
when
a
we were
Big
kids.
Mac that we used to
Big
get
Mac from the
before-
past.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Big Macs used to be like when we were younger.
Yeah, before shrinkflation and Rip Off Britain kicked in.
Yeah.
That's another subject.
Other fast food outlets are available. So we had a Grande Big Mac meal. And I still had to have an extra portion of fries and a choc milkshake for Pud. Lol, Bench is a 1/32 MTB at the moment weathering. I have to confess, when I have at McDonald's, I can't just have a burger and chips. I have to get a Big Mac and a quarter pounder, or a Big Mac and a
Oh yeah, you've got to have a
sticky
chaser,
chicken
haven't you? You've got to have a burger chaser.
I don't normally do the milkshakes, but I could just fancy a chocolate milkshake now.
Harry Styrene is giving you an ingredients list there, Fox.
Oh, hang on, that's it. I've got to find where we are on the chat.
Just above Skipper Ted.
Ted's trying to get in. He's just uploading a video.
Oh yes, Harry Styrene says chorizo, red onion, hot peppers, extra cheese, and mushrooms. Apart from the chorizo, which is everything else on there is fantastic. But you're missing anchovies and ground beef. You should always have anchovies and ground beef.
Sprue and Glue says belly packet of ready sorted crisps. Bench Revel 148 A10.
That sounds like the kind of thing where you really can't be bothered making dinner because you're too engrossed in what you're doing.
I've just found a packet of crisps and they'll do.
I do that all the time. I don't. It might just be me, but if I've done that thing where you're so engrossed at the bench, I've done it before. I'll go downstairs and be like, I'm really hungry, but I can't be bothered.
Yeah, you go foraging in the fridge, don't you, mate?
Have you ever come back upstairs with just like a can of beans and just you open the can and that's all the cooking you're gonna do?
Yeah, I've had a box of Cocoa Pops and just sat there eating individual Cocoa Pops from the box. It's like, why am I doing this? Why?
Because it's fun. Although I think what's worse than opening a can of beans cold is eating a can of cold spaghetti. It's just
that'd
be worse. Yeah.
Or if you want to get really desperate and you're really lazy, a can of ravioli, Heinz ravioli.
Oh, ravioli.
Yeah.
I usually resort to the beef pot noodle.
Dave,
no, because that's heresy.
I've never had a Big Mac. I don't know how to pass that because
I can't process that at all.
George Taylor, belly, ham, and Swiss cheese sandwich, macaroni salad on the side. Good ingredients description. Bench, I don't know yet. Since I finished my last kit, what do you suggest? Well, what have you got in your stash, mate?
In fact, here's the thing then. Why don't we? Because we don't know what George makes. So why don't we all suggest a kit, but make it a good, like one of our favourite kits that we built in the last few years to give him some ideas.
Bandai AT-AT.
That's your suggestion. Chris, what would you say?
At the moment, I'm enjoying building the Baneblade, the Warhammer Baneblade.
Okay, so we've got the Bandai AT-AT, the Baneblade from Warhammer. I would say, if you don't mind splashing the cash in, the big 1/48 scale Eagle Transporter.
Oh, good shout.
Yeah, it's very expensive. It's not cheap.
Yeah. Fox does make a very good whimpering puppy noise whenever he's at eModels and sees the eagle in the cabinet and he on the glass.
Yeah, I really like when we do. If you don't know, when we do an eModels build, and there's us three are all eModel builds. So's Ted, and there's also the other guys as well. Tony, that you hardly ever see, who's still working on his helicopter. Andy and Simon. We all basically, when we do an eModels build, we have to give it back because we get the kit for free and we film it and we have to give it back. And normally it's not a problem. You're like, brilliant, it was great fun building it. I got some video footage out of it and now I can give it back. But when I did the Eagle Transporter, I sat there with it on my bench and I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I had to give it. So every time I go to the store now, the first thing I do is walk in and go and look longing, press my nose against the cabinet and leave a little bit of pupkus on the thing when I want my baby back.
It's quite funny because you did it to me as well when I was up there. You was like, that's my eagle. That's my eagle.
You're stroking the cabinet.
My eagle by any chance. Anyone that walked in, that's my eagle.
But I will be honest and say it's one of my favourite builds that I've done in my career is that kit because it's a joy to put together. It's not complicated. It's massive. It's a simple paint job because it's mostly white. And it looks fantastic.
Yeah, so. you seemed to really enjoy that build series, didn't you?
I did. I loved it. I absolutely adored it. And I get bored with builds, but that I didn't get bored at all. And I have to say, I don't want to shock you, Colin, but you know that towel dispenser behind you?
The carrier bag dispenser, yeah.
Yeah, is there like a little tiny spider by the side of it, or is it a screw in the door?
I don't know because
you don't want to turn around. Do you?
You can't turn around and look at it. No.
I may have a large piece of masking tape over that area of the screen that I keep looking at, so I can't see what you mean, mate.
I think it might be a little screw holding on the door, but it's like behind your head on the other side. Oh, it's a screw. There you go.
Unless there's two spiders equidistant.
It could be.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I know certain people are going to hate this, so I'll say it was a fluffy bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
Just certain people won't want to say that. But the other day I was sat here at my desk and I saw a fluffy bunny rabbit whiz up the wall.
Yeah.
Just by my window.
You don't want to be saying, "Is that a spider behind you on this stream?" Because I'll get in trouble for it.
Okay,
I remember that one. Just done.
I remember that when I say it. So I got my glass and I caught it to throw it out, and it legged it out the glass and it got away. And I'm like, oh. But I knew there was nothing I could do about it. So I thought, well, it'll reappear. Don't worry about it. I'll carry on what I was doing. And later on, it was there on the wall at the same point, so I caught it and threw it out. But I had a moment of doubt because I thought, hang on, was that the same spider? I mean, fluffy bunny rabbit. because the first one was a little round black fat thing, and the second one was like a spindly one. I'm like, was that a different fluffy bunny rabbit in exactly the same place? And what are the odds?
The trouble is, if you put the glass over it and it fights back and starts lifting the glass away from the wall.
I mean, we had that conversation where we've both evacuated our man cave, haven't we, with certain creatures spinning around light bulbs that we can't mention.
Oh yeah, I'm not bothered about the Borises, but there's one creature that me and Colin will run away from, and I'll scream like a
we just evacuate the man cave, don't we, and stand there with a newspaper waiting for it to creep under the door.
Yeah, but how many times do you get saber-toothed tigers in your man cave? That's a real.
You'd be surprised. I've got a little crack in the wall.
Anders Ericsson has an interesting suggestion for George Taylor, who is the person who's asking about what they should build next. He says, number 3 of what's in store.
Oh yeah, there is a tradition. There is a tradition ongoing, George. If you were aware that there was, I can't remember who it was now. But,
I don't remember who it was. But...
Somebody every time they came on, they had to take whatever we showed the third thing was in what's in store. We have an appearance.
Quick, Chris, put the eagle in the front.
Oh god.
Oh.
We haven't got a Ted. We've got a Titanic.
We've got a box, and I think Ted just fell off his chair.
I'm so glad you've got that written as you have, because if it was slid over a bit further, it would say
it just says Titanic.
Yeah. Well, we did have Ted, and then he kind of went quiet and dropped a lot of things.
It's an eModels mug. It's an eModels mug.
Are you with us, Ted? Are you alive behind there?
Is the box so big that it's stopping
I don't think he's realised he's hit live.
Are you in?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
This is the box. It's not a picture. I'll be with you in a minute. I'll just...
Yeah, that's all right, mate. We was just killing time until you got in, mate.
I'll just ship this out.
Oh,
you're right. There, all the things now.
Oh, there you go, fella.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ted may disappear as he presses all the buttons by mistake.
Sorry, I'm late.
There he is.
There he is.
Yeah, things might not be set up right here at the moment, so forgive me. I've just come in at the last minute, so...
That's all right, mate. Do you want to flick your door open as you normally do, mate? Not that my OCD's kicked in.
On that note, Colin, you've sunk again.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Sorry, mate. I'll put my feet back down.
Where are we up to?
We've done bench and belly a bit. Oh, good God, look. Oh, my life.
Is that better, mate?
Here's the hull. Hang on, I'll turn it around so it's going the right way.
Let me lock it on Ted.
Yeah, hang on.
We want the engine noise as it goes past. What kind of engine was that?
Oh my God!
Oh dear Lord!
It's still going.
Still going.
Are you looking forward to it, Ted, or are you scared now?
I think he's looking along it. Oh dear Lord!
Mind the ceiling. Don't poke the lights out.
Oh my! That's a big piece of plastic.
It's not quite a model. It's more of a canoe.
Yeah, I'm a canoe. How do you do?
I'm a canoe. Yeah.
Cracky Riley, Ted.
Yeah, it's cracking.
Still, at least you'll be able to sit in it when you're gluing bits to it and just sit there and build the deck while sat in the Titanic.
Yeah. And at least the box will give you somewhere to live when Mrs. Ted kicks you out.
Was that a one-piece hole there, Ted?
Yeah, it's all one piece.
My God!
That was unlike the submarine. When you start this, it's on the bench and that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question for Ted, please put it in chat now because he won't be around next week because Mrs. Ted will kill him completely to death.
Yeah. I haven't got the chat up yet. Actually, I've just come straight.
I take it Mrs. Ted is in bed then, and she's not seen the size of that kit.
Yeah, the first thing I got when I got home, not welcome home or how are you? How was the trip? Where's that going?
On the
George
mantelpiece,
Taylor
though.
has an update. He says, "Okay, I'll build number 3, but it'll probably be a giant tooth model or a skeleton of a fluffy bunny."
Oh,
No.
I've just had a quick peek across to the what's in store that I'm doing a bit later on, and you'll enjoy number 3. It'll be fine. It's all right.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm just trying to get the chat open, so I can
Yeah,
see
no
what's
worries, mate.
Yeah, so Ted may not be alive this time next week. So get any comments to him now.
You've got a nice, easy night, actually, Ted, because we've done the chat, the fact, bench and belly, all of that.
Just carry on. Yeah, I was only coming in. I only came to the computer because what I did today, I couldn't go live as planned because of technical issues.
The big button on the iPad.
Yeah. So what I did was I made a video. I videoed it, a little bit of a look in the box and a thing like that, live from eModels, but it's pre-recorded live. So yeah, I was just uploading the video, and hopefully, I'm hoping it might be around tomorrow, because I'm just going to send it out raw with bleeps and all. So yeah, that's it.
Could be interesting.
The only thing we haven't done is eModels mug, because we couldn't get the jingle right.
Now I have actually got a button. So what we'll do? How about we do a comparison? How about okay? I'll quickly do. I'll do the button. Let's do the button first. 3, 2, 1. The button doesn't work. Give me a minute. Do you know?
I did see some of the chat as I was coming home in the thing saying the button may not work.
Hang on, I need to reboot the button.
Yeah,
Ted,
Anders Ericsson
you
says-
carry on.
Yeah, Anders Ericsson asks, "How long is it?" Yeah, the box and the hull fits in the box. The box is actually 4 foot 7 inches, so it's just short of that. About 4 foot 6
God, that's
inches.
as tall as my mum.
Mm.
Right. Anyway, I've got the buttons working now. So here's the button, Ted. No, it isn't. Oh. Right, I'm going home now. Going home.
eModels mug.
All right, doing it. He's doing it now.
eModels mug. eModels mug.
Right, and now we have the real Ted. Go on, Ted. You do the real version.
Your chance tonight to win an eModels mug. An eModels mug. An eModels mug. An eModels mug. eModels mug.
I think they were indistinguishable.
Yes. Now we've got 4 of us, by the way. I need to refresh because it's killed the bandwidth. So give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go.
Scale Model Muse is saying, okay, time for work. Good night. See you later,
Okay.
Muse. Take care.
Have a good day at work. Yeah, unfortunately, when there's 4 of us, it kind of kills Google's bandwidth a bit, and the Hangout goes a bit panty. So,
Yeah.
so one of us is going to get fired, basically, for quality purposes.
Who was the newest bloke in then? Perhaps that's not how it works.
Maybe we could have a rotating week off.
Yeah.
Oh.
Super match game.
And you missed, Ted, you missed Chris wearing his hat.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
But he
right.
can't wear it now because he'll give you hat shame.
That would make Ted the odd hatless one. I wouldn't do that to him.
Well, I'll have to get a skipper's hat. It's still good.
You've
I like
got to, ain't you?
Yeah.
Especially now you're building the Titanic, you've got to have your proper skipper's hat.
Well, every time I come to build the Titanic, first of all, I'll get the swear jar out, and then I can keep topping out. And then I'll put the skipper's hat on and a big white beard, and then I'll feel at home then.
In fact, what we could do is if Ted, if you run a swear jar while you're doing the Titanic, and then we can run a competition so somebody can win the 35 grand in the swear jar.
Yeah, especially when it gets to the photo etch bit, because it will jump exponentially.
Oh yeah. You know, like put 5p in every time you swear. There'll be tens of thousands of pounds.
Please send ideas along to Ted at eModels for new words that I can use.
And any complaints, helgan35@geocities.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Ted's build series of the Titanic has had to stop because he's broke.
Tim Young says, he makes a good point. Welcome, Tim. I don't think we've seen you in chat before. Tim Young says about your big Titanic. He says, I'd love a shot at that kit, but I'd have to fill it with figures. Would probably spend the next 10 years painting all of those.
It puts my Titanic to shame, to be honest. I've got the little Revell one just here.
You can actually get figures for it and the kit.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah.
You can get figures and what?
You can get figures for it with the Kate Winslet, and you can actually get dogs as well. Little
Dogs?
tiny 200 scale dogs. I don't know why, but you can.
Has it got a full interior, Ted?
No,
Oh,
unfortunately.
it's not worth the money then, is it?
Yeah,
Not for the
fortunately
series.
it hasn't, which makes me think that this could actually be a quicker build than the submarine. Yeah, but
Yeah.
anything's quicker than 3 years.
It's
Then
not-
everything's quicker than the submarine.
It's
My
not-
Sazabi's going faster than your submarine, which is
It's not fair though, Ted, because I've only got a little one.
oh, little Teddy, isn't it adorable?
Oh no, I've got a little Titanic.
You do realise, Colin, that your entire
Yeah, this is a bit of Titanic envy going on now, is it?
yeah, Colin, you do realise that your entire hull is about the width of Ted's bridge.
Yeah, I'm doing mine as the sunken shipwreck. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Although
Ted can do it after. He's going to get another one.
Can you imagine if you're mad enough to spend all that money, but if you were doing a wrecked Titanic,
yes,
that one being so big, you could spend a long time building the interior that's all hanging out and building all the decking and stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, that's
yeah.
kind of what I'm doing with that one. I've got to make all the decks and detritus and stuff. But...
Detritus.
And I was going to put a little remote submarine, whatever.
Alvin.
Is it, with the little light, just lighting the front of the wreck up. So
Oh, yeah. What are you doing in there, dear? I'm making detritus, dear. Oh, again,
Yes,
very well. Your
detritus,
dinner's ready in
right,
half an hour. Yes.
What was I going to say? I was going to say, yeah, I've built boats actually bigger than this. That's one of the reasons I gave up building big boats, because boats were getting to this size all the time on the living room table, and that's why I gave up building boats.
because you used to do the full RC bit with them, didn't you, Ted?
Yeah, they were all RC controlled. This lends itself to being RC controlled. No problem at all. It can be RC controlled. But I won't be going along them lines.
Could you build in a little valve so you can have a little opening bit so you can go under the water and back up again?
Sprue Glue Addict's asking, how many candles on the Titanic, Colin? 4 candles.
Ted, I have a question for you. While you were at eModels today, is the U-boat on display yet?
It is, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Where have they put it?
As you go in, there's
Yeah.
the little lift up sort of countertop. It's
Yeah.
behind there, in the glass case behind there, where you've got all the radio controlled cars and things.
Oh, right.
Ah, you mean-
yeah.
It's
You
in
mean the
there.
shelf where they put all the Doras normally?
Yeah, just above where they put the Doras.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, this was in the place where the Dora was. Because
Oh, wow.
came out of there. Yeah, it's in there, and they've actually lit it up now. So they've, instead of having batteries on it, they've wired it into the mains. And it's
Wait,
really,
who did that? Who did that? You didn't do that, did you?
No, I didn't do that, but it's really bright for some
So
strange reason.
who did that then? Who set it up with mains connection?
I don't know. I don't know who did that. I didn't ask.
Oh.
I didn't inspect it too closely. Because
dear.
I
Does that mean I'm
keep
gonna suddenly-
seeing that submarine and shuddering.
It's not my
'cause
problem anymore. Step
If I get a message to go in and repair my Eagle because somebody tried to wire it up and broke something, I'm going to be really, really sad. Quanoman says, I'm going to regret reading this. I think Ted's Titanic needs to scale Foxx as Kate Winslet and Colin as Jack at the front end. What about Chris? Where's Chris going to be? I
I'm
doubt
just
it.
trying to
That conjures up all kinds of wrong imagery, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think Sprue Glue Addict's got a stutter there. He's asking how many fork handles on the Titanic again. 4
Clarky
candles,
asks-
mate.
Clarky's got a question for you, Colin. He says, who would swear more, Ted on the Titanic or Festive with the 124 scale Spitfire?
What you mean, the Steve Spencer beanie build that we're doing? Yeah, yeah, I think I'd win that one, to be honest.
Yeah. A, you're a southerner, and B, it's a terrible kit.
And I still have a post-it note saying "Do not swear." So yeah.
Chris could be looking the wrong way in the crow's nest, yeah, because he always misses all the conversation.
Are you going to put an Easter egg in it, Ted?
I don't know yet. I was just looking up 124 scale Titanic, 1200 scale Titanic crew and passengers figure for the trumpeter. That's
He's gonna put a German U-boat crew member sitting on the toilet with an iPhone and an eModels poster behind him.
yeah.
It is all about Easter eggs, isn't it? It is quite a quirky thing to do. I enjoy doing them myself, you know.
I signed the inside of the Eagle.
Can you see that? Does it?
No, it's too overexposed, Ted.
Can't see a thing.
Titanic crew and passengers. Kate Winslet and thingy, whatever.
Oh,
it is.
really? They're actually got that nonsense.
Yeah, they've actually got them, and there's.
What you can do is you can get all the figures, but just burn the Kate Winslet and Leonardo figures because they're
you can
pretty
get
relevant.
dogs, dogs and animals and ladies petting dogs, and the band and passengers. Yeah, there's lots of things you can
I
do.
think I need to resin print a figure of you as the captain, Skipper Ted at the helm.
Yeah,
Do you have that on the
be
bridge?
really, really small, wouldn't it?
Yeah. With an
It's not small,
eModels
it's a lot
mug in your
far away.
hand. With the eModels mug in your hand.
Iceberg? No, but there's an eModels mug, an eModels mug. Iceberg ahead, an iceberg ahead.
Michael Jackman says there's going to be 2 incredible builds underway later this year: the Millennium Falcon and the Titanic.
Yes.
Yeah.
When this is finished, this Sazabi that's still ongoing, when this is finished, the Falcon will be starting mating. At some point in the dim, distant future when I eventually get the Sazabi finished. Trust me.
Yeah, I haven't decided on my next eModels build yet. I keep having a look through and seeing if anything catches my eye, and nothing has yet. So
An eModels build, an eModels build.
eModels build.
I'm starting to film mine this week. I'm doing the ball tank. So
Ball tank.
yeah, doing the tank because it's a ball. Because
You know, none of us can say ball tank like you say ball tank.
yeah, it's a ball tank, isn't it?
It's what?
Because it's got tankage. And moving on.
Change gear.
Yeah.
The only fear I've got with this is making the man cave in the loft is actually, will it go in the loft? You know, because I've got quite a steep set of steps to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The question is, which will be quicker, building your man cave or building the Titanic?
Yeah, I'll have to do. Yeah,
I honestly don't know what I would do as a next eModels build, unless people in chat or whatever, or watching the videos I do, come up with a suggestion. You know,
We've learned over the years, Colin, you don't ask chat what you should build for your next build. It never ends well.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It's going to be Dora then, isn't it?
I just mentioned it in the past, and Sprueglu's already said that the door has got my name all over it. It really hasn't.
There you go. Yeah, digital camo as well, Chris. Of course.
On the Dora, yeah, that would go well.
So, who is anybody else in chat building the Titanic? By the way, has anybody else got it? Because I did think that I did hope that I was going to go down and do a video when it arrived, when it was brand new in store. But James Mate says, "Good job he didn't. It was manic in here because people."
Oh yeah, they've sold quite a few already, haven't they?
There's quite a few gone out. There's a few more arriving this week as well.
Well, they had all the pre-orders. They said that as soon as the stock comes in, a lot of that will be gone for pre-order.
Yeah.
They showed a photograph, and it was amazing. They did show a photograph. For anybody who was wondering how many they got, they showed a photograph in the car park of 3 massive pallets.
Yeah,
that were
I
stacked
saw
about
that.
9 foot high, and that was 3 of them, and that was all Titanics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been anticipated, hasn't it, this release, because it was so detailed, wasn't it? Because they did go back to the drawing board at one point, didn't they, just to do some...
When they originally brought it out, there's quite a few faults with it. The hull wasn't the right shape for a start, so they went back to the drawing board. And as well, the deck wasn't printed in decking.
Yeah.
It wasn't printed, so it was just a steel deck. But they've now embossed the plastic to look like a deck, if you want it that way. But there is, I think, middle of the year, there is an upgrade set coming out for it.
What with the proper decking strips?
From Trumpets themselves. There's wooden decking. There's about a dozen more photo etch frets, and there's lots of other stuff coming out for it.
Oh, you won't have started it, but that'll be out then by the time you start. You can get the extra set and do even more work on it.
Yeah. The kit's already expensive enough without buying it, without getting the photo etch, the extra set for it. But,
Yeah, Ted, you're not paying for it.
Yeah. Somebody said, am I going to drill out all the portholes? I'm going to drill some of them out, not all of them. And then I'll light it from the inside because the lighting set only does the upper decks. It doesn't do the hull. So,
like third class always gets ignored.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Steerage only had candles anyway, didn't they?
Just the candles.
4 candles.
4 candles.
For the entire ship, yeah.
Zadster says 2 things. Ask the chat and you'll get half a horse as to what we should build. And he also says, at the risk of starting a riot, I'd rather have the Wingnut Lancaster.
Hmm.
Yeah, no problem with that. Some people like planes, some people like boats. I'm not a boat builder, so a boat will do nothing for
We
me.
do know that Ted likes big boats.
I mean, for
And he
me,
cannot lie.
For me, it's the storage. I mean, I've got a big old Nimitz up there that
I heard that rumour.
takes up the 2 cabinets, and for me, it's just storing them at the end of the day. But I suppose with the eModels one there, it's
Their problem.
Hey, you need a new case, mate.
Yeah.
That's
Casemate.
Yeah, that is one advantage of building 3 models, actually, because I get to build a model, I get to show you guys how it's built, the guys in chat, and then it goes back because I don't want to keep it. And really, when I built a model, I don't know about some of the other guys in chat. Once I built a model, I lose interest in it. That's it.
Yeah.
Not interested anymore.
I'm exactly the same. I mean, people know I say all the time that I have a really short interest span, so I can get bored of a build halfway through. So it's a real struggle sometimes, especially if I'm filming it.
Yeah.
To suggest that I'm interested, even when I'm not. But when I do get a kit that I've built, like the Eagle is the rare example, but when I do get a kit that I've enjoyed all the way through, as soon as it's finished and it goes in the cabinet, it ceases to exist. I've lost any interest.
Yeah, that's why I try to sort of modify stuff or do a little bit of a quirky idea with it. It's just to try and maintain me interest with it, But
But yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, for a long time, I would struggle with the idea of selling my builds. Be like, yeah, but it's mine. It's in the it's beautiful. But then I'm like, you know what? I built it. It's in the cabinet. I don't care. Just sell it. So, it sounds really weird, but once you've finished building it, it's not.
I had it with the commission stuff because you knew that the person was keen on the commission that you was doing for them and they appreciated it. That was my buzz because you knew they would look at it and go, yeah, I'm glad I did that, So
the thing is now with YouTube and Facebook and everything else, we've got enough places where the pictures of what we've done is archived anyway.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it gets to the point now where I run out of cabinet space, so I'll just put them on eBay and sell them.
Yeah, I mean, one of mine went back on tour and took his Jackal build with the Afghan diorama, and he took it with him. He said, "Here it is in Afghanistan," and I'm like, "That's mad."
Yeah,
but yeah, I was quite impressed with that.
We've got some suggestions for Chris, and I've lost it. Spruglu says, Spruglu says Colin's next eModels build should be the Millennium Falcon. I might be able to witness it in my lifetime.
I start at episode 7.
I'm just shutting up now.
That's an interesting one. So someone was saying the oil rig.
Michael Jackman suggested, Chris, why don't you build the Revel oil production platform? Pretty sure it's 144. Sprunglu comes back and says it's 1200. But that's just going to be like scaffolding again, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, see, I kind of like that container ship that Foxx had shown last week that he was on about. His mum got him, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, that's just different, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into boats, but I'm gonna sci-fi that up and make it into a spaceship container ship rather than an ocean-going container ship.
Support ship for Yamato.
Well, no, it'll be a proper Battlestar Galactica ragtag fleet type ship.
Spruglu's asking Ted what happened to the excavator digger build.
It's still here. It's still on the bench. I've still got it, and I'm still doing it. I'm about 3/4 of the way through doing the video. Just that things got in the way.
You're finishing that before you start the Titanic.
I am finishing that. I may run them alongside each other because once I can do a bit on the Titanic, I can do a little bit on the excavator and also land cave. Yeah, so I'll have a bit.
Graham McRoberts got a question. He says, what is the best paint to get for concrete dioramas? I would just say doesn't matter as long as you can dry brush it, because dry brushing is the way to go.
Right.
Yeah, you can actually get
there is a concrete texture.
Yeah, there's a concrete texture for dioramas. Yeah, I think AK do it.
I think it's part of the AK real range, isn't it? The sort of desert terrain and things like that.
I haven't got any in the cupboard yet. I've got the mud and things. No, I've got sand. Yeah, I got sand. That was the one I got, but you can get a concrete one as well.
Yeah, the trick really is to make it look as random as possible. So start with basic colours, get washes, get streaking on there, get some filters, and then get some powders going as well, and dry brushing for the rough bits. It's just that kind of concrete look. You can just have fun with it.
And it's whatever you're doing on there as well. If it's in like a workshop area, then you're going to have oil stains, fluid marks, that sort of thing. Or if it's out in the open, sort of dust, detritus. So.
Yeah.
Sprudeloo says he feels a diorama where the Titanic gets sunk by an excavator.
Oh, yeah. Or just, here you go. You say to eModels, I'll build the Titanic for you. And what they actually get is a diorama of your excavator and just the very tip of the hull sticking out from under the ground. They go, done it.
He's just going to have the little bit of the stern poking out the water. Well, it's sinking. It's a realistic diorama.
Yeah.
It's like, how long did it take to build that? What do you think of the Titanic? It took me 5 minutes. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I've just got books full of bits now. It's spare bits.
Michael Jackerman is trying to tempt Chris into the oil rig thing. He says the platform has helicopter and orange lifeboats and escape chutes.
He is tempting, isn't he?
All that pipe work.
I'll have a look at it. That's all I promise. I'll have a look later.
Yeah.
Talking about eModels store. Can I do my what's in store? Is it time?
Yeah.
Is it time?
You do the what's in store while I go and put this.
What's in store?
Titanic away.
What's in store? What's in store?
What's in store?
Bum.
So we do. Oh yeah, Michael Jackerman just said whiz. What's in store time? I shall prepare it while Foxx does his talking about it.
Oh, have I still got to do that bit? Okay.
You still have to do that.
I'll just turn the sound off while I go and put this hull back in the box. Otherwise,
Yeah,
No
okay.
worries. We'll see you later. Tim.
Get back in your box. So yes, it's what's in store. As always, there's going to be a theme to all the things that Chris is going to show you. So pay attention. I don't know. I've not even seen what's in store today, so I don't know the theme. But there is going to be a theme. However, and what you can do is whoever gets the theme first in chat will win an eModels mug. Which I've got. Oh, hang on, I'm not prepared. Is the button going to work? Is the button going to work? No.
It's an
Yes.
eModels mug.
Yes, it's working.
eModels mug.
It's working, don't worry.
eModels mug.
Yes, you can.
eModels mug.
You can win when the button works. You can win an eModels mug. All you need to do is guess what the theme is. Well, don't answer during Chris showing you what it is, because if you answer before Chris tells you to answer, we'll simply point at you and laugh. So, Chris is going to go through all his stuff, and at the very end he'll come back and say, what is the theme? Go, and at that point, the first person to get the right answer for the theme will win an mug. Now, before they do that, though, while Chris is already ready and me, I'm stalling for time, there's always a lag between the video and the chat, so to make sure there's as little gap as possible, what you need to do is hit the refresh button on your browser, which is probably up here somewhere if you use Chrome. Most normal people do. Hit refresh, and then when it's refreshed, drag the play slider, all the way across to the right to make sure you're up to date. So you need to refresh and drag.
Colin's in the chat again. Colin's in the chat.
Colin.
Colin's
Oh
in the
yeah,
chat.
no, sorry, I didn't want to
Spotlight.
interrupt. Someone was asking about the concrete, and I just put in about the AK texture. But I
He's
just
been
didn't
told
want to interrupt
to repeat
your segue into the what's in store, mate.
Mouth words.
Yeah.
So refresh and drag. Hit the refresh button and drag the slider all the way across. Hopefully you've done that by now. And I shall go and lock it on Chris. And remember, don't answer till Chris says go, otherwise we'll just point at you and laugh.
Where's my button? How do I get the thing? I'll screen the
No.
share the screen. Share the
Share
screen.
the
Share my
screen.
application. I shall share that application window. That one there. That's what we're dealing with today.
Ooh.
Let's put it across here. I thought I'd stick with a boat theme. So we have the USS Pittsburgh CA 2072 1944
End of information.
plastic bottle kit. It's a model kit. It's made out of plastic. It's by Trumpeter.
I do love it when those guys get stuff that we don't know anything about and we've got no information. We're like, it's a kit of a thing.
I'm
which you
doing
built.
that bit where I'm looking around the camera trying to see what it was.
More information. There you go. There's exactly the same information in slightly different order.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a big boat. It's 1/700 scale, so it's sort of not as big as Ted's big one.
It's big, but not that big.
So yes,
Does
that's
it
pretty
say
much
if
what I
the-
say about that. I'm going to nip through these fairly quickly this week because I've got 7 of them.
Does it say if it's a
more than
waterline model, by the way, Chris? I don't know if it's people often ask that if it's a waterline kit, but I don't think it says,
It
does
doesn't
it?
say, and there's no other pictures,
Hooray.
so I can't tell.
May or may not be a waterline kit. If not, get your saw out.
It's got some kit in it, but maybe not all of it. Yeah. So there we go. That's what we start off with. The USS Pittsburgh.
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 That's that one.
Pittsburgh.
Next up, we have something a little bit different. We have the Javis, probably Javis Javis, hairy grass. This is
Hairy grass.
Yeah.
Say it, Colin. Say it, Colin.
Yeah, I must not swear.
Say it. We need Colin to say hairy grass in his inimitable way.
It's an hairy grass.
I think the word "and" may have made that worse.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not better, is it? I didn't think it through properly when I was selecting these.
You forgot Colin was in the show.
They do a selection of different hairy grasses. This is spring. They do other ones as well. At £2.99 for a pack of assorted grasses for your diorama needs.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people swear by the Javis stuff. It is. I've used some of their stuff and some of their glues as well. It's quite good.
I'm just
Their textures and
curious
stuff.
as to how many people have bought that and tried to smoke it.
Oh, there'll be at least one.
Yeah.
It looks quite long, so I don't know what it says. 6mm, so I'm guessing this is for your bigger scales. Your 1/24, your 1/35, that kind of thing.
Yeah, 6mm and springy.
Hmm.
Says Asda. Yes. Right. So the third up. This is the one that somebody's going to have to buy, isn't it?
There you go. That is one of my favourite American cars. Grand Fury. Plymouth. Is it a Plymouth Grand Fury?
I don't know. It's a Dodge Monaco.
Is it? Okay.
It says
Not
on there.
Yeah.
The MPC 125th Joker's Goon car from 19.
Now you know why this is awesome. Because this is the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman Joker, which is the best the Batman film there is. Everything else is rubbish. So I'd have that. I'd buy this for $1. Or
The model kit, it says. So yes, it's a proper model kit. Doesn't come with the police car, I don't think. Although it does seem to feature on the other side of the box as well. I don't know.
Is that your next eModels build, Chris?
No. This is I can't remember who it was. It was George Taylor. That was it. It's going to buy the third item. So
yeah,
George Taylor is going to be building the Joker getaway
He's
car.
saying in the chat, haha, Joker.
As always with these, we don't know how many of them they have in stock. So slap it in your basket, and it's not yours till you check it out. It doesn't sound the same, does it?
It's not yours till you check it out.
Yeah. And if you wait, you've just said that. Yeah. They may have one, they may have 100 of them. So if you really want one of these, any of these things, get it in the basket now. Ted, what do they do?
Slap it in your basket.
Yep, and then check it out straight away. Because if they've only got one and you get it in your basket and somebody else says, I fancy that and here's all my money, you're screwed. So there you go.
And as ever, all of these items are going to my overriding theme. So I hope you're paying attention and figuring out which ones they are. Because it's a pretty obvious one this week. You'll be able to get it.
See, I'm confused because I had a toy Plymouth Grand Fury police car and it looked exactly like that. But then I think that's a lot of American cars of the early...
They all look very similar, don't they? Yeah.
I want a car like that.
This is the Revel, one of my scale, 1 to 144 scale, hence the very, very low price. The F-14A Tomcat. Tomcat's obviously one of the fighter interceptor craft.
Has it been slightly chibified? It looks like a bit of an egg. It looks like a bit of an egg plane. It's a bit squidged.
No, that's pretty much how it looks.
Have they just done it at a funny angle?
Yep. It's the maneuverable F-14 was over 30 years one of the most capable and powerful fighter interceptors in the world. Particular to its ability to carry a large arsenal of weapons, especially the AIM-54 Phoenix guided missile. Top speed over Mark II. So
anytime somebody says the most such and such in the world, all I can hear is Jeremy Clarkson saying the most powerful interceptor in the world.
Yeah, I mean, for one of the smaller, cheaper kits, it's got more information than all of the others put together.
Yeah.
It has the movable swing wing, landing gear, optionally extended or retracted. It comes with 2 Phoenix guided missiles and 2 Sidewinder guided missiles, and decals for 2 versions. So, yes, a nice, quick, cheap build, but all good fun.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's item number 4. Number 5 is the ICM 135th Model T 1917 ambulance with US Medical.
Do you know what the Welsh is for ambulance?
Ambulance.
Ambulance. Ambulance. I love that.
Ambulance. Lots of pictures of this one. All I think CG pictures by the looks of these, but gives you the idea of what you're building. Some nice details in there. Again, not an expensive kit, but all good fun to build.
World War I vehicles are always good fun because you can weather the crap out of them because, of course, they were going to be covered in mud and dirt and dust. So.
And comes with figures and looks like, obviously, he's taking notes and the guy that's really sick had to sit up to give the note.
Yeah, he's there going, did you get the number of the vehicle that hit you, sir?
It's my ambulance. Let me in.
Do you have you got your insurance documents?
More pictures of the dudes than anything else.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's helping him into the back.
That's good. That's really good because you get all the figures as well, and for you find a lot of people that make World War One models, because there's not a massive range of World War One models out there. They tend to focus their efforts on small. You'll often find lots of small vignette dioramas, and by vignette I mean really small diorama where it's mostly the model and the base is about the size of the model, and it's just a little tiny bit of landscape. And World War One subjects do tend to lend themselves for these little tiny vignettes. And this kind of subject, because it's not ICM we've said it before, ICM kits, they do a lot of unusual subjects that you wouldn't normally get mainstream kits of. And Jamie Bowen actually asks about the ICM Chernobyl models. Yeah, they're going to be good. ICM make great little figures, but they do a lot of these. So if you're interested in World War One era and you don't want to make a massive diorama, because some people don't, these kind of kits are great for these little. You could make a little diorama that's just as big as the model with a little bit of terrain, like it's parked outside a bombed out French church that they're using as the field hospital or something. It could be anything. It could be in the middle in the field hospital.
As it says, it looks very diorama-able.
Yeah, that's the beauty of World War One subjects, is they are just fantastic for those little tiny vignette dioramas. You see them at model shows where it's tiny. They're little tiny things, but they can be beautiful because you're only painting a small model and a small base. You can spend a lot of time on them, so you can get some really nice.
Yeah. Right, that's that. The penultimate item tonight is.
By the way, George Taylor says he's not building the Joker car; he's building that because he normally builds World War One. So there you go.
Okay, well, you can buy both. That's fine.
Yeah. See, Chris was there for you, George. When
I'm here to help you out. You can use this paint to colour one of them as well. You can get the Vallejo 17mm game colour, Parasite Brown. What a lovely colour it is too.
It is a good colour, that actually, Parasite Brown. It's good for leathers.
It's a parasite.
Parasite
Brown. eModels.co.uk. That's all we can really say about that. It's brown. It's a parasite. It comes in a little dropper bottle.
Yep.
There you go. And the last one tonight is the AML 1/72 Nikojima KI-43 Hayabusa Oscar undercarriage and flaps set. Obviously, an add-on pack.
I've got to do it. Flaps.
And undercarriage as well.
Undercarriage.
So yes,
Skullfish.
if your Nakajima KI-43 Hayabusa does need undercarriage and flaps, then you can get them separately for a mere £4.45.
Now, to me, Hayabusa is either a motorbike or a set of armor in Halo 2. So I'm assuming it's a plane of some sort.
I assume neither of those need undercarriage or flap.
Yeah, well, the armor in Halo 2 might need it.
See, I seem to have that eModels jingle in my head now. They're eModels flaps. They're eModels flaps.
They're eModels flaps. eModels flaps. eModels flaps.
Right, so that is all of them. I'll nip through them again quickly, and then we'll open it up for everybody to type in the answer and get it all easily.
No idea at all.
As you know, I don't believe in this, wimping out and doing red herrings and stuff. So all of these do fit into the theme. So there we go. We have the Trumpeter 1700 USS Pittsburgh, the Hairy Grass, Joker's Goon Car.
You were slow off the mark there, Colin.
I was, mate. Hairy Grass.
The 144 Tomcat. The 135th ambulance.
I like that.
The paint, the game color paint, and the flaps.
Flaps.
Here we have some flaps. I shall stop sharing. I should be.
I shall unlock it off you, but I'm sure we'll come back to you because you'll have to explain it.
I'm here again, and I shall say, go.
Go. What's the theme?
Tonight,
I haven't got a clue, so it's up to you, Chris, to spot
you can put them in. Nobody should do these clips as ringtones, says Zedster. Mark Scopes is right in with the answer. It's the Oscars, the 2020 Oscars.
Is it? Why?
Yeah.
Right, I'll lock it back on Chris. He can before he can sit on the step and explain what he's done.
It would
think about
seem
what he's
that
done.
well, everybody got it. Everybody knows it. It's just you
Yeah.
lot that don't know it.
I don't pay attention to the Oscars because I have no interest in
Think
celebrity
of the
nonsense.
film names that were up for awards. And
I have no idea because most films are rubbish and I don't watch
I
them, so
shall
don't.
share my screen once again.
Share your screen. There you
Share
go.
my screen.
have
Hang
no
on,
interest
I
in
shall
the Oscars
share
and-
what screen? Well, let's start at the
I get
beginning again.
1917. I get that.
We have the Trumpeter 700 USS Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's just that bit that's the bit that's the Brad Pitt won an Oscar.
Okay, I have no knowledge of such things.
So there we go. The Hairy Grass, the award-winning short animated movie was called Hairy Love. So we have Hairy.
I like Star Wars. Go on.
Joker.
But
Joker. won a
Joker, yeah,
movie
okay, I've
for-
got Joker, I get
won
that one.
something.
that's a nice car.
The Tomcat is the one that's a bit of a stretch. It's just the Phoenix guided missile because that's Phoenix.
Phoenix, yeah.
Yeah, when we read specific facts out to the for people in chat, when we read specific facts out, sometimes we're reading them out for a reason.
Yes, there's normally
Sometimes it's the only link is there's a word in the description.
that one's pretty obvious. 1917.
Yeah, I got that one. I
You
got that one.
Parasite is
Okay,
won
now that
quite a
makes
few. A
sense.
small independent film that won quite a few of the big Oscars.
That's two films I'm aware of.
And that one, obviously, it says Oscar.
Is it? Oh yeah.
It's got Oscar right there, right in front of you.
I don't
It's
know.
the entire word right in front of your face there.
Sprue Glue says, "Who framed Roger Rabbit?"
Yeah.
So yes, that's my reasoning behind those. So it was quite obvious, I think, most of it.
It's
Yeah,
all
only
right,
if-
Fox. Normal service will be resumed next week because mine will be really easy.
What's the theme? They all start with the letter L.
Yeah, all got flaps on them, ain't they?
So
All these
it's, who was that? That was Mark Scopes, wasn't it?
Yep.
As ever, if you email ted@models.co.uk, tell us
up there,
that you
just up
want
there.
the mug, and you'll be put into the mug list for when the mugs come back in stock again.
When the mugs come in.
It might not be
resist
the
that.
next time the mugs come back in stock because I think we've given them all away so far. It might be the time after that the mugs come back in stock again later.
A few
Yeah,
people.
where was eModels today? There just wasn't any room for any mugs. So,
I did. A few people did ask. I think a couple of weeks ago, were saying I won a mug like 3 months ago. Yes, they are waiting for them, but what they'll do is they do keep a big pile of all the people that have won mugs. It's a big pile. There's a whole shelf. So, yeah, you will get your mug. It might take like longer than me doing the Millennium Falcon, but you'll get it eventually.
Cynical Steve says that was a good one this week, Chris. Actually made sense and fairly obvious. Thanks.
What was he trying to say about my what's in store?
Mine will
Tom
make
Hope
no
says, Chris, I
sense.
told you last night that it was the Oscars. You said you weren't interested. I wasn't, but I needed to come up with a theme, and I heard it on the radio about Oscars and stuff. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll use them.
You did the quiz for your Microsoft Xbox points, didn't you? And it said thing about the Oscars, and you thought I'll have a look at that.
yeah, that's usually how I pick my what's in store. You know for a week ahead that it's going to be your what's in store, and you don't really twig anything until you drive into work and somebody gets said on the radio. I think, oh, that's it. That's my what's in store.
Yep.
I tend to go onto the eModels website and just type in random words into the search engine, and I've gone through most vegetables and fruits, most kind of animals and creatures. Anything that pops in, I'm like tomato.
Yeah.
No, oh well.
Sometimes it's just the first thing that pops up on their page has got that word in it. It's like, yeah, that'll do.
What's the theme this week?
Colin's
The
next
first-
week, isn't it?
No, I think
yeah.
I think we're sort of dissing ourselves. So we spend weeks thinking up for what's in store for you good people in chat. So you can
Yeah.
Yes.
I've sat here with my clipboard making notes throughout the show in anticipation of next week's what's in store.
Yeah. That's what
I'm just going to give you a quick refresh, Ted. Give me 1 second because quality's dropping a bit. Hang on. Doodle-doo-doo-doo. There we go. Ba-ba-ba-boom. I think it's because when there's 4 of us and 3 of you in a hangout, the quality drops. When there's 2 of you in a hangout, the quality's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's a Google issue.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So as Chris suggested, then we could have a week off roundabout.
Yeah.
We could have a rotated week off just to keep the stream looking
Yeah,
good.
for the good of the stream, we should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Colin can't have next week off because it's his what's in store next week.
Absolutely.
No.
Fox can't have a week off because he's got the buttons.
Oh man. No, but Chris can do buttons as well.
But not if I have a week off, I can't.
Absolutely.
No, well,
Chris.
yeah, I
Well
can do
said.
the buttons when. Yeah, but I can do the buttons when you have a week off, and you can do
Oh,
the buttons
damn
when I have a week off. Yeah. Whatever you do in life, always have a fallback. Always have a backup.
Absolutely. Spruglu says Ted should be out of focus like the good old days.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've just been out of focus because I've been messing with the camera trying to.
You're actually looks like you're broadcasting from 1983 on my.
Yes.
But-
There you go.
It's like watching one of my web pages load.
Dave Cardboard says the theme for next week is skew numbers. Yeah.
You won't win if you put it in chat now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ted can't be identified for legal reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted's already had a half of his week off this week, so
So Ted, show me on the doll where they touched you.
Yeah. Show us on the dolly.
right. That's everything, really, isn't it? We haven't got anything special happening yet.
Sprue and Glue says Ted can't have a week off because he's always late.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just
George Taylor says, can he have a week off watching this? No.
No.
no, you're not. You're not excused watching. We need the numbers. We
Yeah,
need.
you take your punishment, George, like the rest of us, mate.
The thing is, right, if you don't watch the live show live, does it even happen?
Ah,
Absolutely.
Trees and logs and trees falling and hands clapping and all that.
Yeah.
So Anders Eriksson says, question, at what proportions do you dilute the Tamiya acrylics in order to airbrush it? I can answer that very quickly. Forget proportions. Dilute it to the thickness of skimmed milk. Any paint to the thickness of skimmed milk. With Tamiya, it's roughly about 50-50 with their own thinners, but it can vary between colour and colour, so just go for the consistency of sort of thin skimmed milk is about right. If you start thinking about percentages, there's no point because it depends on the thinner, the colour, the brand, and everything. There's no set.
Somebody came up with a recommended dilution rate. Was if you get the full bottle, take the top off, you'll see where the paint inside is sort of level with, and fill it up to the rim.
Yeah, that's also about kind of roughly about right. Yeah.
Yeah, fill
But
it
that's if you're using Tamiya's own X20A thinners.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing with percentages, like I could say to you, you want 75% of paint and 25% of thinners. But I can guarantee you that might work for the red, but for the white, that'll be too thin. Or for the yellow, it'll be just too thick. Because it varies from not just brand to brand, but colour to colour. So the whole people that get really finicky about percentages and ratios, forget it. There's no point. Like Ted says, go for top it up to the top of the thread on the bottle. That usually works. Or just go for skimmed milk. It's better to have a rough kind of consistency. And if you're not sure, add a little bit. See how thin it is. If it doesn't look thin enough, add a bit more. Try it again. See if it drips off the stick or something. Skimmed milk is usually a good rule of thumb. The only things you don't need to thin are lacquer paints because they're already really thin anyway, and some metal acrylics like the Vallejo metal colours because they're super thin as well. You don't need to thin them. And enamel weathering products are usually fairly thin as well.
Yep. We've got a couple of people turned up just near the end. Matty's Metal Detecting South Wales says, "Hi guys, sorry I'm late."
Yeah, we don't know who he is or where he comes from or what he does, but we love him.
And Scale Hanger 182 says, "Hey, what's up, guys? Nothing's up. Everything's just normal."
Yeah,
But
we're all doing fine, mate. Yourself? Hope you're well.
Mm-hmm. Anders also asks what air pressure. Again, that's something that no one can really answer because it depends on not only the paint and how much you've thinned it, but also your compressor, your airbrush, how long your air hose is, what kind of air hose you have, how old the compressor is, what the temperature is.
Tank.
It's the size of the tank. So again, with the pressure, it's going to be roughly a rough golden rule of thumb is primers 20 to 25, maybe as high as 30, paints 15 to 20 if they're just regular acrylics and you thin them. Enamel weathering things like streaking grams and stuff, lacquer paints and some of those Vallejo real metals, what are they called? Metal colours, 12 to 15 at most. And some gloss varnishes like the say Pledge and stuff, you can go really, really low to like 12, 13, something like that. But if you're thinning Tamiya's, probably somewhere between 15 and 20. Just try at 15 when you've thinned it to what you want. Because it depends on how much you've thinned it at that moment in time as well. It's never going to be the same. So start at 15, see how it sprays, increase it if you need to, decrease it if you need to, drop down. But most acrylics, if you've thinned them, between 15 and 20 at most.
I hope you've been taking notes because we will be asking questions at the end.
I hope not. I don't remember.
Scalanger 182 saying he's good, by the way, and he's building the AMK Tomcat now, and guys at the bench. Hung some photos up, mate.
What scale is that AMK Tomcat? Anders says, great, thank you. Yeah, the golden rule of thumb with a lot of model making is don't get hung up on the numbers. A lot of times it's when you see a lot of people like us do it, and professionals, they'll do it by eye. Nobody really thins paint with pipettes and measuring. No, that's just crazy.
It's like you say, the consistency of skim milk. It's a bit like your sprue goo, isn't it? When you make it, you learn what you want it to flow like.
Yeah. Because it's so variable. Because we all know that white paint's a complete ass. We hate white paint because white paint never behaves. And when you're thinning paints, white paints never behave the way you want them to, because they have different ways that pigments work. So you can have a range of paints that require 6 drops of thinner and they'll be perfect for airbrushing, but the white will be like, no, I want 5 or 12 or 32, and there's no point. There's no point even getting to. Just do it by eye. You'll be fine.
Matthew says, I'll make sure I'm an hour and a half early to make up for it next week.
Yay!
That's right then.
Nat Williams is saying, quick question, guys. Lewis is trying to find Pledge, but can't find any. Any suggestions on locating some? They did rebrand it, didn't they? They
keep rebranding it. Yeah.
Yes.
Pledge Future and all of that.
Yeah, it's called now Pledge Revive It. The number that the way to know it is the I can't get my words out. Formula number. That's the one. And the formula number you want, look on the inside. It'll be a clear liquid. If it's not a clear bottle, it's not a clear liquid. Don't get it. If it's a milky liquid, it's a cleaner. It'll take your paint off. Look through the label, through the bottle, through the liquid, into the back of the label. It will say there'll be a formula number, and you want to write this down. I shall get the number for you. Write that down. The number you require, it'll say SC Johnson formula, or words to that effect. It'll be hashtag 35*3597. So that's hashtag 35*3597. Not every supermarket will carry it. Asda will carry it. Sainsbury's might carry it. You can, of course, get it online if you want to. I did have a conversation with the guys at eModels once. They were thinking about stocking it. But it was really hard for them to find it as well. So they were struggling as much as everybody else to try and get hold of some. But they might stock it eventually because people use it.
Scalanger 182 saying sprue goo. Sprue goo is liquid sprue, styrene dissolved in Tamiya extra thin, mate. Yep. And you use it for gap fill in your models.
Yeah. You're basically filling the gap in your model with plastic.
And that's what it is. You just sit there with an old bottle of extra thin, chop up little bits of styrene or old sprue, give it a shake, leave it overnight, and you have a bottle of sprue goo.
Takes quite a lot. Anders says, I only found Pledge in white bottles here in Sweden. It can have different names, different coloured bottles. That used to be Pledge multi-surface wax over here.
That's what I've got.
Yep, that's the old bottle. But it will say on the label somewhere, either on through if you look through it, or if it's an old one, it'll either be called. They may still have bottles of Pledge Floor Care Finish 2 times more shine, but highly unlikely. We Pledge Revive It now.
I don't want to look at mine because it might be the wrong one, and I'll be all cross. And stuff.
But it depends what you want it for as well. Don't forget, of course, if you're wanting to make a nice shiny car model or plain model, and you actually want a gloss varnish to be a gloss varnish, you are better off with the proper model making one like the Alclad Aqua Gloss if you used acrylics. It's not a good gloss varnish for making a glossy model. But it's unless it's like you're painting little tiny details like eyes on a gunplet or gold trim on a Space Marine or something, you can brush it on. But if you're making a glossy car or something like that, you want to use a proper model making one because they're a bit more durable.
Nat Williams is saying that she's going to try online. Yeah, I got me 2 times more shine off of the Flea Bay and my multi-surface off of Amazon.
Yep. Well, I say it depends what you want it for. Like I say, if you're just doing it for decals or weathering, it's fine. If you want it for actual glossy effects on models, though, go for an actual gloss varnish.
Yeah, Phil Ketts put it on their search for 11182 Revive Transparent. Yeah.
I don't know what pledge 11182 revive transparent liquid is. But yeah, as long as it's got that formula number.
Yeah.
Hashtag 35*3597. That's the
I've actually just been looking on this type of bottle, and it doesn't have a product number on it.
That's dead old though, Ted. That was
Yeah, yours has got with clear in the label on the front, isn't it? Which was the old version of Future.
Yeah, that's really old. I've got some of those. They're well old now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out the product date. I think it's 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dig Stig says, "Hi guys, wishing me luck tomorrow. I'm starting my 172nd German 80cm railway gun Dora.
Ooh, good luck.
Right, the 172nd Dora. So congratulations, well done. Good luck with that. Yep.
Yeah.
People don't realise that you've actually got a Dora, Chris, haven't you?
I have. I've got a 144 Dora.
Mm.
I haven't started it yet. It's still about a foot long when it's going to be built.
It's still massive.
It's still huge, but yeah, at some point I will dig that out and do that. But yeah.
Andrew Preston mentions Humbrol Clear as a gloss varnish. I would say best to avoid that if you're not an absolute expert at using gloss varnishes. Humbrol Clear, I've never had good results with it, but I think it's just very finicky. You've got to get it exactly right. Get it spot on to get it.
It does pretty good for dipping canopies in.
Yeah,
just as a dip.
Yeah,
that's all.
But as a gloss varnish, it's one of those. It's like MIG paints, ammo paints. You've got to get them exactly right, otherwise
get that ratio spot on, haven't you?
Yeah, the Humbrol Clear, it's prone to not setting if you don't get it spot on. So if you're new to doing gloss varnishes, I'd probably go for something a bit more user friendly, like your Alclad Aqua Gloss, or I can't think of the other ones now. I always come up short with gloss varnishes. I'm so used to use it because I don't do shiny models, so I'd sat into use pledge because I only ever use it for weather.
Yeah, I mean, I only use a gloss as a between decals or paint layers type thing, and then I matte everything down because most of my models are matte anyway. So
right.
That's that then, isn't it?
Sorry, I was just distracted by Titanic.
Mate, it's normally me that gets distracted. I'm quite happy about that.
Show us some
way. You've got to do the bigger first, Ted.
Ted, show us some instruction sheet porn.
So the instruction sheet?
Give us some instruction sheet porn.
It's only got a one-piece hull already. That's already built for him.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, look at that. It even comes with a stand. But,
oh.
Don't most ships come with stands nowadays?
No, but yeah,
especially when they're 4.5 foot long.
It actually looks, looking through the instructions, and it's the first time I've looked at them this evening, it actually doesn't look too complicated. Yeah, go out and get yourselves one. Yeah, we can all build one.
Jamie Bone says, can you use Tamiya X20 thinners on decals like Mark Setter and Softer? You can. I don't recommend it because 99% of people will screw it up.
Yeah.
Just use Mark Setter or Softer or Microset Microsol.
Yeah, it's too aggressive.
Yeah, it can work on a really stubborn decal. Our friend TK over at TK's Models has used it on his Blackbird, it was an Italeri Blackbird that was a pig. The decals were horrible. He managed to use it and it worked, but it's so aggressive. If you get it just ever so slightly wrong, you ruined it.
Yeah, but he did have lots of decals, didn't he?
Yeah, but they were horrible decals. They were like made of wood or something.
I mean, he could get the ultimate set that have got the normal strong and extra strong. I mean, I used them for the decal wrap on the Jaguar, and that extra strong one did actually do the trick. So could always get a set of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's three real sort of options. There's Microset and Microsol, which are the sort of average ones. They're good for most. There's Mr. Mark, Setter, and Softer, which are a bit more aggressive. They were designed for putting water slides on Gunpla. It's always Gunpla, but they are very good. And then there's the UMP stuff, which is kind of between it's a mixture of the strengths of the Microsol and Microset and the Mr. Mark Setter and Softer. So you've got three options there. But yeah, if there's a product you can use that works,
go with the ready-made stuff. That's what I tend to do now.
George Taylor's putting Ted on the spot. He says, Ted, when can we expect to see the first build video of the Titanic? That day and date, Ted. When's it going to be?
The first build video, I'm not quite sure because I'll have to fit some time and things and have a look at it. I am hoping that the first let's have a look in the box video, what I did today at eModels, will probably be out tomorrow. I just need to edit it. I've just been uploading it. That's what I'm doing in the background while these guys are doing what's in store and stuff. So I'm hoping to get that.
The build video before Christmas?
Yeah, which Christmas? Yeah, don't be specific which Christmas.
Let's just leave it as before Christmas. Nice and open-ended.
Sometime in the 20s.
Yeah.
Or you could just do the perfect answer, which is what when Stephen Hawking, no, somebody once asked the guy that designed the set for the, let me explain this properly, Star Trek Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that designed, Mike Okuda, designed a lot of the sets and stuff, and he designed the warp engine and the set for the warp engine. And somebody once asked him, how does that work? Because he was writing the technical manual, and his response was, very well, thank you.
Yeah.
So I've already forgotten what we were talking about. What were you talking about, Ted? Just say very well, thank you.
That answer doesn't fit with the question, though. It's like, when are you going to build it? Very well, thank you. No.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect answer. Very well, thank you. When do we get an episode 7?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to announce, by the way, most people know this, but I've not actually mentioned it publicly, but I have mentioned it in various places. There may still be some viewers of this show that don't know this, so I will say publicly now so you know. People often ask me, when will I do the next episode of my D'Agostini Millennium Falcon? When will I do episode 7? It's never going to happen because I've now sold it. It's gone. I've not got it anymore, so there will never be an episode 7, so you know.
Not a shock. We always knew that was going to happen.
No. So, well, one of my friends said, "Can you still? Is that Millennium Falcon still? Can you still get it from D'Agostini?" And I said, "You can, or you could just buy mine because I've only done 6 episodes. I've only built the cockpit." And they were like, "Okay, I'll buy it then." There you go.
Yeah, well, you are going to make another one for eModels, so yeah.
Start that at episode 7.
Yeah. No, I can say without any equivocation now, with the eModels Millennium Falcon build, there will be. It will finish. The final episode will be episode 7.
Good man.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, you could,
Jamie,
that was a very good idea from Colin there. You could build it away from camera up till you were at episode 7, then carry on, and nobody will ever know.
And my hands have grown 4 times the size, but the Falcon shrunk.
Yeah, but just say that it's far away.
Yeah, I'm working on it with very long tweezers.
Yeah, I'm using these new extendable Foxx arms.
Yeah, this paintbrush is actually 13 feet long. It's that far away. Yeah. Jamie asks, when we were saying about the decal set and stuff, he says, what if you use decal fix first and then X20 to set the decals? No. Firstly, I wouldn't recommend decal fix anyway. But again, you're putting basically thinners, acrylic alcohol thinners, or they're actually alcohol-based lacquer thinners onto decals that aren't protected. It's not going to end well.
It might work, but why take the chance?
Yeah, it might work, but it probably won't.
You could end up with the old wrinkly crinklies, mate.
Yeah, I mean, decal fix, it's all right. It should work. If your decals are looking fine after decal fix, just leave it and move on. If you're having problems getting into crevices or into little curves, you can sometimes... if you've got like a corner, like, I can't do it in my hand, but if you've got a corner like that and your decal's kind of going like this over a corner, what you can do is get a very sharp blade on your knife, get a fresh blade and just slice it along the axis. So let's say there's part of a ship and it's like that. You've got a curve here, a piece here and a piece like that, and you've kind of decal's kind of sitting over with a gap here. Slice it so that the decal will sit flat, and then you can seal it with your decal fix and it will bed it down. You can slice decals where you need to. Use a brand new blade and then bed them down. Decal fix is all right, but it's not the most aggressive. So if it's still not bedding down in places, get yourself some Set or Sol or the UMP stuff or Mark Setter and softer. And
apparently it's locked on Colin.
Oh, shouldn't be.
I think it just wasn't. You were doing the talking without locking it on you.
Oh, okay. I didn't lock it on me. Shall I do the hand gesture again? Yeah. So imagine you've got an edge like that and you've got a decal sitting across the edge like that. You can't. You're trying to push it in to blend into that corner, but you can't. So if you slice it along the edge, both halves of the decal will flat down. Then you can flip them down. So yeah, but yeah, just don't use X. It's no point.
Dave Cardboard saying perhaps you could do an episode 7 wrap up on the Agostini playlist so viewers aren't left hanging. It could be a quick, I've sold it.
Yeah, I don't know how many people are still hanging after 4 years.
After 4 years, yeah, no. I mean, I might do a quick thing saying, I ain't got it no more. See ya. I'll just psych. Andrew Preston asks, why are small PE parts so frustrating to apply?
Yes,
Ted.
Very much.
Ted.
Yeah, why are small PE parts so frustrating to apply? Because they are.
Because it's the order of things.
Because otherwise they'd be big parts and easy.
Yes.
yeah. It's just it's just the way that.
That's why we all have a load of photo etch sprues in our Greeblies boxes, isn't it? Because we like.
You'd find photo etch is best, as we know, applied with something like super glue.
Mm.
You find that the more super glue you put on, the less it'll hold. So
Yes.
if you put your super glue on and you put your photo etch part on and it won't stick, what you often do is put some more super glue on, and then it's not going to stick. Because
The one thing I always forget to do when I'm doing photo etch is I get thin CA glue, thin super glue, and I forget to get that bit you stick on the end that's got like the tube where it becomes like a hair width, so you can just apply the really thin super glue. You know, like where it's like almost like water,
Yeah,
and you get that little thing that you can stick on it. It's like a hair.
it's like an anteater's outer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a little filament, and you can go and you can. I always forget to get one of them, so I end up using the thicker super glue, and I get the piece and the model and this like bulb of super glue, and then I hate everything, and then I just go off and cry.
another secret with super glue is to use kicker or activator, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
That puts it off straight away.
Yeah.
However, don't do that.
Stuff.
I would say if you're using a kicker, do not use a kicker on a paint job
No.
because it may potentially knacker your paint job. So always use kicker on bare plastic. Don't do it when you've painted the model. It's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, that's what you're going to do anyway. If you're putting photo etch on, usually you're going to prime it and paint it after that, not the other way around.
I've seen people trying to stick things on after it's like, yeah, you've gone down a bad road now.
Yeah, we always found that super glue though was very fragile, especially when people were building model ships and sailing them around the pond. The ship would run into the bank, and everything would fall off.
Yeah. So that's the one difficulty with super glue is it's fantastic. It's really grippy. It's strong, but it can't survive torsion shock. So if you knock it, it can shatter.
Yeah.
And there's no real, for things like photo etch, there's no real alternative that's as strong as super glue, but that isn't like exploded. There's no real, I don't think there's any kind of really thin epoxy glues because it's usually CA glue or epoxy, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Sprue Glue says an anteater's hooter has got to be the phrase of the day.
Anteater's outer.
It's an anteater's outer.
Yeah.
If only we'd named the episodes after the episode.
I'm just gonna refresh. Give me a sec. Yes, we may have to change the title of this. Anteater's outer.
Anteater's hooter.
Well, it's either his outer or his Aris. One of the two.
Yeah, it's the anteater's outer edition.
That could go the wrong way.
Can we call it a night? Is it night bedtime now?
Anteater's outer. There's no H's in there anyway.
We've done Anteater's hooter. There's no going forward from that, is there?
Chris, you've been in chat.
No, I haven't. What?
Yes, you have.
No.
Christopher John Williams. I don't know that's your middle name.
Yeah.
You got the initial right.
There's always, if you're going to guess someone's middle name, it probably starts with a J. If you're born in the 70s, it probably starts with a J.
I've done really well. I've kept my hands in the pockets of my hoodie. It's like, I will not type.
You were in the chat. You got told off for it.
I know. I sneaked in, but I didn't want to interrupt Foxx because he was mid-garble, wasn't he, you know?
I don't garble. I waffle. It's different.
That's the word.
Sergeant Bones suggests jeweler's cement for that kind of...
Yeah, the GS IPO stuff. Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know about jeweler's cement. Never used it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's about that time. The
only jeweler's product I've ever tried to use was jeweler's rouge on a car windscreen to try and get a scratch out. Yeah, don't bother.
Yeah.
It didn't work. You can't polish glass easily.
You stand more chance of polishing, yeah.
Yeah, we spent 3 hours trying to polish the tiny scratch out the windscreen. In the end, we gave it back and said, "Yeah, you just take it away."
It would end up like that Father Ted episode with the car with
with a hammer. I think I've done it.
Yeah. I think I've got it now. Yeah, I still have this image of Graham Norton doing river dance in that one berth caravan from that show.
What was the thing about a horse? Wasn't the one about they did the Eurovision?
Eurovision song. My lovely horse.
My lovely horse. That's it.
Yeah.
There's a few things you remember from Father Ted. There's a few obvious things you remember from Father Ted.
Oh,
look at that! What are the odds of that piece of dirt on the window being perfectly square?
See, whenever I see Dougal, I think of Tony Fairclough. I don't know why.
Yeah. Why Dougal?
It strikes me as that madcap person, you know.
Even though I know what Chris's middle name is, I still think it's Janice. It says Quano Man.
Don't have one, mate.
I have.
You can't think about it. You try and remember it.
I had to remember. I've got 3 middle names.
Oh wow! Is one of them Wilfred?
No.
I just see you as Wilf Lunn. You know the man.
Yes. Yeah. I've got to get the moustache sticking out with.
Mate, I've so got to Photoshop it. I've so got to do it.
If I grow this long enough, and I've got some moustache wax,
Yeah,
I can make it into a point.
I used to love the contraptions you used to build.
Yeah, he's still going, you know, Wilf Lunn.
You try and replicate them out of Meccano or something. It's like, yeah, Wilf built that on Vision on.
For some reason, Sprue Glue Addict says, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen." I don't quite know why.
Good evening.
He's been here for a while. I don't know why.
Yes. Did we ever find out what it was that Sergeant Bone says that I was right about or got?
No, we don't worry about things like that.
Okay. Yes.
Anyway, it's about that time again of the night.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's been a long day today for me.
Hang on, I need to make sure my buttons are working. Give me a second before we start doing the wrap up.
Oh.
No, oh yes, they are working, yes.
George Taylor's saying George is my middle name.
George Taylor.
Yeah, a lot of
Dust.
geezers in my family go by their middle name rather than their Christian name.
Sergeant Bone says it was Dust. He mentioned Dust, and I said Dust. Anybody? No. Dust. Anybody?
Oh, yeah.
No. Dust.
Nope.
Hello.
Yeah.
Dinner's ready.
Yeah, where you at?
Where are you at? I'm downstairs. I'm in the other room, love.
Yeah. Right, on that note,
Was that Mrs. Ted asking where you were when you were in the same house?
Are you home yet?
Yeah.
Ted fell in the box containing the Titanic. Hasn't been seen.
It's like the kids, isn't it? You don't know where the kids are. Luke, where are you at? I'm upstairs. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Where you at? I'm sat next to you. Oh,
You
You
said-
get one of these on your way home. I'm upstairs on my Xbox. Damn.
you're sending texts to each other across the room, aren't you? Luke, can you go and make a cup of tea? No.
I learned a long time ago because I thought it'd be great fun just to text Mum and Mama Fox and say, "Can I have a brew?" But then I realised she's one of those people that the phone's usually in a handbag in airplane mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when
Never
she turns it on
works.
tomorrow, she gets 15 texts saying, "Can I have a brew?"
Yeah. It's like I said, you know this mobile phone. You know the operative word is mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Phone.
that's it.
Bless her. She's getting a new phone. I took her into Tesco today to get a new phone.
Yeah.
For the first time in many years, she tends to inherit my old phone. So when I've had a phone for a couple of years, I upgrade to a new one, and she gets the old one.
Yeah.
So she's been struggling on my old iPhone 5 from like 7 years ago. So we took her into the place today to get. She's getting a brand new phone. She's getting a better phone than me, and I hate that.
Watching your mum dial someone's number on a mobile is. It's like, yeah. Where's the dial? There is.
So she's getting herself her first ever new mobile phone, smart. Because last time she had a mobile phone, it was like a Motorola flip phone or something. So it'll be her first ever new smartphone.
Oh, bless her. And of course, if it's got a decent camera, you will not be stealing it to use for videos, will you, mate?
It's actually kind of the same. So
I think it occurred to me the other day about mobile phones is you can't have an angry hang up, can you? You can't slam the handset down.
no, but
The end call just doesn't have the same sort of.
no, but I learned what you have to do instead is come up with witty ripostes to have that effect. And one of my ex many years ago, because I'd never heard this before, she had this perfect one. What would she do? If she had someone like a spoon on the phone, she had to hang up. She'd go, "I tell you what, has your phone got a button that does this?" And I thought that was brilliant at the time.
Right, yes. It's getting to late. It's getting to nearly tomorrow.
It's overtime now, and we can get paid double bubble.
Yeah, paid time and a half.
Yeah.
Now I've got the thing from the Littlest Hobo in my head. Maybe tomorrow. God damn it!
If we can, as we've gone over, if we can have your timesheets by the end of the week before we miss, and we'll sort it out for you.
Yes, triple double time, triple double.
We'll make sure you get the usual recompense. So.
Cynical Steve says you can definitely end a mobile call with malice and a forethought. Believe me.
Right. Thanks very much for. I think it was Chris who was doing the host tonight, wasn't it? So,
I did, but I'll let you finish by all means. I wouldn't want to. No.
yeah, well, thank you very much for watching. That's it for this Monday night. Until next Monday night, when we'll do it all again, probably in a different way, but we'll be here anyway on a Monday night, 9 o'clock on eModels, emodels.co.uk. Go and have a look at the website. Go and see what you can buy and go and enjoy yourself. But thanks for watching tonight, and we'll see you all next week. Bye then. Bye.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.
Did you arrange who had the button?
I've got the buttons. Do you want me to press the button now?
Press the button now.
Do you want me to press it now?
My hand's getting tired.
Do you want me to press it yet? How about now?